So what's up, you got Dana here. Of course I had to be the one with the latest review. Let me just say that New York is a totally different animal. As you can tell, my voice is raw still from the weekend, from yelling and talking to people and taking in that air, that thick up north air. But anyway, I'm gonna give you guys a quick recap of my weekend. I can't speak for everybody. I'll try and touch on what needs to be touched on and just tell y'all about my experience as a whole. But I left for New York on Friday. I could have actually just gotten to the city on Saturday because the weather was so bad. I didn't really get any great pictures of New York. I got some here and there, but as far as sightseeing and stuff was concerned, the weather was terrible. It was cold, which wasn't a problem. I was expecting for it to be cold, but it was raining too. So, you know, it's gloomy. It feels colder than it actually is because of the rain. It's wet. It was bad. You know, it's bad. Anyway, Saturday was the PGs earlier in the day, and then Panic Room 2 was later on in the day. I went to the PGs. I have to say that the card was a pretty solid card. The PG guys that were there that I personally liked were Tone, Super Rider, Newborn, and Latize and Sire Boy had a classic battle. A lot of that footage, I can't wait for it to drop. Tone's battle, Newborn's battle with, versus Super Rider, and you know, Sire Boy and Latize. I'm looking forward to those three battles in particular. Vici bodied the guy that he battled. Young Robbles battled as well. He bodied the guy that he battled. Overall, it was a good experience. A lot of people came out to those battles as well, which made it even better. So all in all, the PGs were a great experience. I thoroughly enjoyed myself afterwards. People just hung around and talked battle rap, which was great. The Queen of the Ring event was, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 hours after the PGs. I only ended up seeing 2 battles. It's a long story behind why I only saw 2, but let me just say that if I could have been in the building for the other battles, I would have been. But I'm actually kind of glad that I saw the 2 that I saw, because my whole mentality on female battle rap has changed because of the 2 battles that I did get to see. My favorite battle on the Panic Room 2 card was definitely Shayna Ashley versus Misfit. I think that battle will be a lot closer on camera. However, I think Shayna owned it in the building, and lyrically she was beasting. Misfit did her thing as well. I can't take anything away from her. It was a solid battle that I'm looking forward to seeing definitely on camera. Now as for Armageddon, I'll just tell you about my day. Any other slander and stuff like that that you hear won't be coming out of my mouth. I started my day pretty early. Ended up getting to Armageddon around 12:30. Somebody ended up coming out and telling everybody that doors wouldn't open until 4 o'clock, which was cool. You know, people, at this point, you're kind of used to the waiting part of it. So it's just like, okay, 4 o'clock, they'll start getting people in. Well, I ended up getting in with press, so that's how I ended up getting the bulk of my footage. I interviewed a lot of people. I have a lot of great footage, and I'll probably just be dropping it here and there. I want to hold on to it because the stuff that I have is great. Got drops, got some, yeah, got good interviews from everybody. Everybody's gonna enjoy the footage that I got. I'm looking forward to sharing it with y'all, but of course, a little bit at a time. There's no need for me to just drop all of it for what, you know. Beyond that, I ended up seeing JC and Young Ill in the building, and I have to say that that is going to be a really good battle. It's going to come down to style preference, of course, as with a lot of these battles that are closer and more evenly matched. I gave it to Ill in the building. I'm not gonna lie. I gave it to Ill in the building. I thought performance-wise, he was a tad more turned up than JC was, but definitely lyrically, JC had Ill. So it's definitely gonna come down to style preference, and I also think that The camera always tells a different story, and the camera usually favors the more lyrical guy. So I'm looking forward to seeing the footage, definitely. That was the only battle that ended up going down on stage in Gramercy Theater where the event was relocated to. Webster Hall canceled, you know, like within a day before the event. Mind you, URL's been advertising that the event was going to be at Webster Hall for at least a month now. So if Webster Hall knew for a month that they didn't want URL, or URL wasn't going to be able to have this space for the event, they should have let them know like a long time ago. That's neither here nor there. Everything was relocated to Gramercy, which is a smaller venue. There were some semantics going on at the door that I'm sure y'all have heard about through other bloggers. Like I said, that part of it, I don't feel like, I wasn't out there for a lot of it. I know some people got arrested for carrying on and being niggerish. I know that there were some battle rappers that were acting as if they were bigger than what they actually were at the door. I think it ought to be said that rappers kind of limit the amount of people that you bring out to these events. If you're not on the card performing, or if you are on the card performing, I think you need to have enough respect for, you know what I'm saying, the people who put the event together, and also to your fans, to limit your entourage. You know, there's no need for a man to be, you know, deep as fuck at an event that ended up being moved to another venue at the last minute. I just feel like, out of respect, you should kind of limit the amount of people that you bring to these events. Like I said, I'm sure you heard it from other people. There's no need for me to like rehash things that have already been spoken about elsewhere. Aside from that, CONCEITED versus Surf ended up going down at the Pyramid Club. Never heard of it, but that's where we ended up going. Small club. The venue was extremely intimate, and that was the only battle that ended up going down. I think Surf got it 2-1 in the building. However, it's going to be different on camera. It's going to be very different on camera. And also, Surf's entire round 2 was personal. So, depending on how you feel about personals, he may or may not take that round for you. But definitely, Surf was strong all 3 rounds, but the third, he ended pretty quick in the third. It was like, is there more? And he didn't have any more. So I don't know if it was he forgot or he just kept his third round short. But that's that. So like I said, to everybody who's kind of wondering how I feel about the event being canceled, of course I'm upset. I flew out and was expecting to see a stacked card, and I didn't end up seeing that. Would I go out again? I would go out again, because the battles that I did get to see were good. Things are definitely different when you get to... There are people right now that are saying that CONCEITED got bodied by Surf live. I can see how people can say that, but I didn't look at the battle that way, of course. I don't look at things just as night and day. But when it comes out on footage, I really feel like everybody's opinion on it is going to be that it was a lot closer, or that Surf edged it. And those were the battles. So like I said, if you haven't been to a battle yet, definitely come out to one. There's no harm in checking these battles out live. The experience was great. I got to meet a lot of dope battlers. A lot of these guys are humble. You know what I'm saying? They mingle and they chat it up with fans. I definitely had a lot of really interesting conversations with people that are just as enthusiastic about the culture as I am, which was awesome. So if you haven't been to a live event, make sure, you know what I'm saying, that you take the time to go out to one. You know, there's no need to like follow them everywhere that they go, but I'm glad that I got to experience one, and I'm actually looking forward to the next time. So that's really my recap of the weekend. If you were at the event, if you saw me at the event and all that jazz, be sure to leave a comment down in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, and I will have a review up sooner than later. I'll see y'all later. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like the Facebook page. All of that's at The Envied Life. Like The Envied Life on Facebook. Follow at The Envied Life on Twitter. And oh yeah, and subscribe to the new channel because half of my footage is going on the new channel. So thanks for watching. Peace.
Yo, it's Conceited, and I'm very, very sober right now. I had nothing. That's because you are now tuning in to Her Sober Life on YouTube. And if you're not on this, that means you fucked up because you're not sober.